Hey guys, I tried to do this earlier today and the internet just was not cooperating. I wanted to show you, this is one of my raspberry patches and it is in the backyard, and what I did was I had a spot that I already had a drip and I mulched with rabbit manure and rabbit manure bedding. It wasn't necessarily wet rabbit manure. I didn't put the rabbit manure up to touch the base of the plants. I just used it as mulch. And you can see that I don't have weeds in here. I don't have grass in here. And until I used the rabbit manure, and until I found a spot where it just got constantly moist, I could not get these to start. And I planted hundreds of these, and I had them in different areas of the property where I knew that I wanted raspberries. What I should have done in the beginning was to find a drip and plant them, and then instead of needing to go out and buy new plants all the time to fill in those spots I wanted them, instead what you do is you wait until they start to go and until they start to spread, and then as they start to spread and you have new plants come on, then you take them to another spot where you have a natural drip. And as you have fruit come on, you save the pits and you take them to that natural drip, a spot that's going to be naturally moist, where all you need to do is just add a little bit of fertilizer and it's brainless for you. It means that you can take, let's see if I can show you the other things that I do this with. So this is a crab apple and it's gorgeous. All year round it's just gorgeous, but it feeds our animals really, really well. When we have ducks in here, the fruit falls to the ground, the ducks eat it, and then the ducks taste like apple. What else do we do? Over here, this is a Nanking cherry, and it's a bush cherry that's not necessary. It's not a pie cherry, and it's not a sweet cherry. It's a different kind of cherry, but it will grow everywhere. And if you have good soil, it will spread. If you don't have good soil, the pits drop on the ground and then they don't grow. So it's a really good test of how good your soil is, that if you don't have babies sprouting up everywhere underneath these kinds of bushes, it means it's an indicator to you that your soil is really poor. This is the first year that we've had rampant seedlings coming up from this tree, from these bushes, and we've been here 7 years now. So it took that long to improve our soil so that these babies would take off. Beautiful. Our horse had trees in their field too. What an animal life to have. Well, at this point we don't have any livestock back here right now because it has been rented. But I just wanted to show you, and then down in there I like to have, can you see it? I like to have comfrey planted every place that I have any kind of fruit, because then it shades out the weeds and you can cut it and use it as mulch throughout the season. This is another batch that I did this with. I knew that I had a drip here of water going to a different place, and so what I did is I just planted a couple of starts here for the raspberries and waited for it to spread. And now what I can do is take these young plants and go put them in another spot, and you just do that over and over and over again. And most of these, in fact this one is a crab apple. For all my raspberries and my blackberries, I got them for free from people that lived around me instead of purchasing. I purchased a ton in the beginning. But if instead what you'll do is you'll get something that does really well in your area, maybe from a neighbor, and coddle it and let it go and just get it happy, it'll start to spread, and then it means that it takes some years. But at least if you have poor soil like I've had poor soil, it seems to be the only way that really works, is to find a spot that kind of takes care of itself. And that's the whole gist of permaculture, is you want your food forest to take care of itself. You don't want to have to come in and do a lot of intensive work to get weeds out, or to get them to live, or to get them to produce, or to get them to spread. You want it to be as natural and easy as possible, especially as you age. You want it to be second nature for them to spread. So I'm going to show you another spot where that has worked. Again, this is a crab apple. This over here is, let's see if I can block this, and I'm sorry for the sun being weird. I tried to do that this morning. So here we have blackberry canes and raspberries. We've done the same thing. Took a spot where we had a drip and put a couple plants in, and now they've spread. Let's see what else I can show you. Over here, it looks like weeds, but it's not weeds. So this, another spot with raspberries, but that on the ground is gobo burdock. It's a medicinal and an edible burdock. When they reach 2 years old, you dig them up and you use the root in stews and as a kind of like a root vegetable. Same thing over here with horseradish and comfrey. So we'll see if I can, this is a plum that was supposed to be a cherry, but the rootstock died, now it just comes up as a plum, and that is a pear. So this is another spot where we did this, is I put in 1 piece of horseradish and 2 rhubarbs and lots of comfrey, and now they're spreading, and I can take from there and put it into other spaces. Same thing here with the grapes. They can start to self-propagate. It's taken these guys a little bit longer to bounce back because of a cold winter. Grapes are a little more sensitive. Let's see what else we have. We also have motherwort and lovage, and this is a Siberian pea shrub, and they drop a lot of seeds, and then I can spread them to other parts of the property that need their nitrogen fixing. So I just wanted to show you that. Whatever you can harvest from local, from neighbors, and then pamper until it will start to spread, so that then you can move it to other parts of your property, that's the best way to do it. How did I start my comfrey? I can't find plants or seeds. I got mine from Marsh Creek Farm, I believe. That's my Russian Bocking, but I start my own official comfrey from seed, and I get it from Strictly Medicinal Seeds is where I get my official comfrey seeds from. But the Bocking, I do get that from, I think it's Marsh Creek Farm, and I believe they're on Etsy. Let's see, do you want to stare at goats while I try and sit? Well, so I can read. Will you be able to take some plants back to Oklahoma? So a lot of the plants you see now, I did start while I was in Oklahoma, and then we didn't have anywhere to put it. I had somewhere in the neighborhood of 12 big cardboard boxes full of planted herbs and seeds, and now my friend Bobby has them because because we weren't able to buy the homestead yet, I didn't have anywhere to put them. Native wilds are green and hardy. Very, very true. Busy Little House said, such a wealth of medication in your garden. Yes, and in fact, we have more up here. I also plant nettles, but this is motherwort. It's supposed to be good for female problems like menopause and heart. Don't quote me on that, please. Supposed to be. Traditionally used. This is motherwort, but it has a lot of prickles on it, so you kind of want to not let it go to seed. You want to keep it kind of in hand, because once it does go to seed, it just turns into prickles. This is going to be a hotbed. What I need to do, this is the best hotbed I've ever made, and what I did was small pallets on the end and then lumber and tin on the inside. The reason it looks bad right now is because we're just using it as a catch-all for sticks that are in the backyard. What I need to do, and what I'm going to do, is come and make another one right here, and then we'll use all this extra stick here to build the new hotbed. But it has been rented for a couple years now, and it just takes time to build hotbeds, so the renter, she had a lot going on. So now we're just coming in and building some more things and taking a lot of things down. So that's why it looks like we're in the middle of construction zone right now. It's because we are in the middle of a construction zone. But the trees don't care. The fruit trees, they just don't care. Hey, Danny. Yeah, this is my dad's hat. He left it for me because I keep getting sunburned. So what else do we have? I also have a little leaf linden over here. Oh, and we have what? Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to show you. Let's see if I can show it to you. So I let my garlic go to seed, and I have not harvested it in years. So if you were to look at my raspberry patch, you would think that it was full of grass, and it's not full of grass. That's all garlic. And so this fall, if I were to dig it all up and then spread it so that it was in individual cloves and plant it to new spots, we'd have huge, these ones get like as big as a baseball, this garlic. And so everything you see back in here that looks like grass, that's garlic. So they really can be super happy, and they can just kind of take over. And it actually is starting to spread out in a ridiculous way. I mean, we've got garlic everywhere. And anyway, we just have a lot. This back here, this is a bush cherry. It's called Romeo. And then I have gooseberries and comfrey. I need to cut the comfrey down quite a bit because it kind of overwhelmed the gooseberry this year. And then we have hazelnuts and more cherries back in there. And this is just in the backyard. We have more in the front, and then we have all of this back here. And again, I want to remind you guys, it's 1.5 acres. And some of it is fallow and we just don't even use it. This is how much you can really do with a really small space. And so don't get discouraged if you don't have 10 acres. So anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that. Let's see, Truth said 90% of our fresh garlic by me is from China. Well, we always grow our own garlic, and my mom always gets me new different blends. So anyway, that's about all I have to show you in the backyard. But as I'm taking these raspberries out and moving them because they're getting into the walkway, it just made me think, hey, I want to show them how this works. But you do want to put it in a place where you can plant them, put some fresh rabbit manure around them, not touching them, and then just leave them and let them take over, and then you can take them out to where you want to take them. And I think people would be surprised at the sheer quantity of plants you need in order to get all the fruit that you want for the year. It's not going to be just a row here and a row there and just a little bit. You need a lot of fruit canes and bushes in order to make up fruit. The girls, we don't buy fruit during the year because they eat it fresh, but even with how much we have planted, we still don't have enough to can yet. So think about that. We have hundreds of fruit trees and bushes on our property, but if we wanted to have enough to be able to can them, we would need more. So hopefully that was helpful, and I'll try to get back to you as we get further along. I mean, you can see we've got wood and we've got tools everywhere, and just sorry it's taken me a lot to keep up with it. Where is my greenhouse? My greenhouse, let's see, it's right there. Can you see it? And I need to go get it cleaned out so that I can plant some stuff into it. I just haven't got to it yet. Yes, Food Forest Permaculture has a great channel on growing in small space. Exactly. There's a lot of channels out there that are growing in tiny spaces. Our last property was 1/10 of an acre, and that included a lot of concrete and our house. But what dirt we had, we were planting all of our fresh eating food that we needed in the year. During the growing season, we could grow it there. And we had goats and rabbits and chickens and ducks all at the same time. And there was plenty of space for it. So you can do a lot in a little. It's really hard to do it in an apartment. I would say that, apartments are tricky. Maniac Grammy said, where are you growing in the greenhouse? We have officially been back for a week on Sunday. So was that yesterday? So we were back a week yesterday. I haven't cleaned out the greenhouse yet. There's a lot that just needs to be pulled out and redone. And we still have really freezing temperatures at this point, so I just haven't got to it yet. We're trying to build stairs on the deck, and we're trying to get everything cleaned up for selling or for having new renters in. So we've just been working on other stuff, but I wanted to show you what I could show you, and hopefully you're enjoying the live video since it's about all I can do.